All right, let's get into our tip of the week this week. Our tip of the week is going to be reducing and creating area calculations. So we talked briefly about measured area versus calculated area, right? So the measured area is the actual space that was drawn, okay? So it is what we see when we first draw the look. That is our calculated area. We can set up an area reduction. So we would open the zone tool itself, go into the settings, and down under area calculations, this is where we would start editing our calculations. Okay, we can have it just reduced by 10%. That's not going to change your zone stamp. It's just going to show it differently for measured area. Okay, so right here, it's still showing, we haven't done any calculations yet. So our measured area is 351. Okay, if we take a reduction, the reduction is going to show right here. So right now we're reducing by 10%. So our calculated area is updated from that 351. So that's the area we're reducing. And now our calculated area is reduced by 10%, so that is now showing as 316. Another place we can do this and set up rules for our area reductions is going to be under our project preferences. Okay, so if we go to options, come down to project preferences, and then goes directly to our zone option in there. Okay, so this is where we can start adding rules for area reductions. So if we add a wall that cuts through the zone, if the wall is deeper than 2 inches, and if it's larger than 0.01 square feet, then it will take a reduction. It'll automatically give that wall a reduction. Same thing with windows, okay? We can also add automatic reductions for wall and column. So it'll automatically subtract the space if the wall or column meets these specifications. Okay, and now we can also add an area reduction for our ceiling, saying that if it goes a certain height above our ceiling, so we want to subtract what's above our rafters here, we add rules for that as well. So now that we have assigned the rules for this area reduction, we want to be able to use those onto schedules now, okay? So these are going to work the same way any other schedules do. We're going to go over it briefly on how to create that as far as what criteria and scheme settings you're going to add for that. If you want a more in-depth video on our schedules, we do have videos up on our Learn Virtual website, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, I believe it's under Documents. We're going to come down to Schedules, and there should be a room area schedule built into the out-of-the-box template already. And when we select that, this is about what we get, okay? And this is normally pretty close to what you need. You might need to update a little bit of things here and there, okay? So just like any other schedule, if we're looking at a schedule, we come over here and select the scheme settings. We can also do that by going to our documents, going down to schedules and scheme settings of the schedules. Gets you to the same box right here. Okay, so schedules work saying that if this criteria is met, this information about those elements will be shown. Okay, so right here we're saying if the element is a zone and it's on our specific zone layer and it's not going to be demolished, then I want to schedule that. So what information of that criteria do we want scheduled? We want to show the home story name, the related zone number, the related zone name, and then what the area of that is. Okay. So we can edit what's already there, and we can also start from new. Personal preference here on whether you want to take something that is already been created and duplicate it and start editing from there, or you can just choose a new scheme and start with a blank slate, whichever way you prefer. My personal preference is I normally start with a new scheme. Okay, so if we are in our scheme settings, over on the left-hand side column, we have this new option here. When we select that, this is the icon or the window that's going to pop up. We can do a new scheme, duplicate a scheme, and we would give that schedule a new name. Okay, then we would come in and start setting up our criteria. Okay, the element type is a zone, would isolate just your zones. Or we can say the element type is any type, and if it has a calculation to it, because we can add area calculations, surface area calculations to a fill. Okay, so if we want to also have it pull those fills that are calculated in an area, we would need to make sure it's showing all items. Okay, and then we continue to add criteria until we get everything that is in there. We can also narrow it down to only show specific zone categories as well. Okay, and then we show, we're going to show the zone category and what that measured value is. And then when we go to our schedule, we will have our building footprint, okay? That is this orange salmon colored piece right there versus our site area right there. So if our building footprint can only take up so much of the site area, this is a schedule that you could quick and easily put together to show in your documents. And the nice thing about doing this is, let's say for any reason your building footprint changes, your schedule is going to automatically update. So as soon as you get all of this inputted, all of the calculations are already being done for you.